Chief Paul VandeGraaf, can you tell us, this is the third week, I guess it was, since the lockdown. The police have been monitoring and issuing tickets. Tell me, I guess, is it frustrating for you?
Yeah, you know what, it's where my frustration sits is sort of secondary to that of our membership. So this is an impact for our community, right? And yeah, I get lots of phone calls and people do talk to me about their concerns about stay-at-home orders, and there's a lot of disagreement around that. But the members here, the specials, the auxiliaries, our officers who come in to deal with this every day, it's a major impact. It's not something that we all thought we would have been doing every weekend kind of 2 years ago. So it has a major impact on our people for sure. So our people are doing great work down there. They're really professional. They're maintaining everything that we've always said we would be, and professional and service oriented. We're living in our 4Es. We're on constantly, every time, even the same people are down there. The same host of characters. We're still educating, we're still asking, we're still explaining. At the end of the day, unfortunately lately we've been into enforcing more and more.
With the numbers, just when I think about it, the numbers you've given out 15 or more tickets during the last 3 weeks, thousands of dollars in fines. Right.
So we're talking about $15,000, maybe $20,000 in fines if you just round each one up to being around $1,000. So yeah, so that's a fair amount of money. That pales in comparison to the added expenses to the taxpayer, to upstaff. Now, our volunteers or our auxiliary who come out every weekend and donate their time to keep our community safe, that doesn't cost the taxpayer anything. But our specials and our officers that we have to redeploy, because we have a community that far exceeds in front of Victoria Hall and now Victoria Park. We have a community that needs us with mental health crisis, opioid addictions, general crime abatement, crime prevention initiatives, and everything that are continuing through this lockdown. So in order that I can provide a safe environment for my team to work, I got to bring in extra staff, and that costs money, and that's not free, and that's not budgeted.
Everybody's in an uncomfortable position, I would take it with this. Auxiliary, specials, regular police, it's just uncomfortable times, but I mean, if you can reiterate, you guys are just enforcing the law. You're not creating the law, you're enforcing the law.
Yeah, so let's be really clear. Our officers, first and foremost, are wives, their moms, their dads, their husbands, their parents, right? So their spouses, their moms, or their kids are going to work. They're working at local retail. They're working at restaurants and takeout. They're essential workers, and our team are essential workers. And they're giving up that sense of security to come to work and provide a safety net for our community. That's why I become so incensed when people disparage or are unprofessional towards my people. I have no problem. I don't agree with everything about the lockdown. There's things about the lockdown I don't necessarily enjoy. But it is what we are doing. The government has set these rules. The provincial government of Ontario has said, this is what's going to happen. Even when the government said this is what's going to happen, police leaders maybe didn't disagree with it, so the government moved a little bit for us. I'm telling you, we're just enforcing the rules. My people are just doing what it is they signed up to do when they took their oath as a police officer, and that's enforce the laws. We are without judgment on this. I can guarantee you, every one of them in the building behind me may have a different view about this lockdown. But at the end of the day, we know what the orders are, we know what the regulations are, and we're going to enforce them.
For this type of lockdown, I guess, where do you go from here? This is the third week, we're going into the fourth week. Same thing, like it's
like
just,
what did they say? The definition of insanity is repeating the same performance and expecting a different result, right? So we're going to pivot. We're going to start to move this along. We're in constant contact with other police services. We're in constant contact with the Crown Attorney, both provincial prosecutors and our Crown Attorney. And we're looking for alternatives to end this. And again, at the end of the day, our 4Es stand. We're educating, we're explaining, and we're going to explain to everybody in the future weekends what could happen. We're not going to, there's no surprises, there's no tricks, there's no magic here. We have a stay-at-home order, there are rules that are going to be followed, and we're going to follow, and we're going to enforce the rules. We're going to give everybody the opportunity to comply. Give everybody the opportunity to say what they want to say, to make their voices heard, because I do agree with that. But there will come a time where that stops and the law will be enforced.
One of the things I noticed on the video when I was down there taking video is that some of the people did comply when officers came up, and I don't know whether you saw the one video, but when officers did come up, the individual didn't hear the PA system, but when he was told by, I believe it was a special constable, that it's time to leave the park or he'd be receiving a ticket, he did leave. So it's nice to see that there are some people complying.
Listen, overall, the bulk of the community, I don't have any numbers, so it's purely anecdotal, but the vast majority of our community is complying. The vast majority of our people are staying at home. They may be going out for a bit of exercise. They're going and doing their essential groceries. That's the majority, if not 90% of the people. It's a small group who are exercising their perceived rights. And at the end of the day, I'm part of a greater community safety and well-being team, which includes health, public health, and we work with these people. We meet with them weekly to discuss like interests. Our specials are seen at the park, and that's a negative thing. Maybe they're enforcing those rules, but they're also at the vaccine clinic. They're also helping people get into the vaccine clinic and get their vaccine safe. They're walking downtown King Street. Even though King's closed, most of the stores are closed, they're still very present. We're doing what it is we do, and again, I always say that credit to the team that work here at the Cobourg Police Service and across Ontario, because this is not an easy time.